Today's daf is daf Ayin Tes, and we are discussing those Avedas that warrant a punishment of Saif, of Cherev, of the sword, and which literally means sword, and and we're learning different dinim regarding that. So now we're up to the Mishnah, and here the Mishnah focuses on intention. And we know that if you have unintentionally kill somebody, you go to Golus. Depending on the degree of unintentionality, where you we'll have a makas the second period. It depends if it's derech yirida, while you're putting your hand down. That's when you go to Golus, or derech ali. If you're picking your hand up and you hit somebody behind you, you don't go to Golus. So within Shaykh itself, there are different degrees. But if you did it b'mezid, you deliberately intended to kill somebody, then obviously you're chayiv misa. So now the Mishnah discusses how far do we take this idea of having kavanah and having intention, until we have the argument between Rav Shimon and Chachamim, which we did have mentioned a number of times previously. Mishnah. Your intention was to kill an animal, and you're standing right next to the animal, and then somehow or another you missed, and instead you killed a person. You killed a person. Or your intention was to kill a guy, standing next to a guy, is Israel, and you killed let's say a yid, or you intended to kill a fetus. All of the cases, the intention was something that you're not chaymisa. Instead, you killed a child that was more than 30 days old, that was, or full 9 months, so therefore was going to live. In all these cases, nevertheless, you potter. You potter. Why you potter? Now, you could learn you're talking about there was no warning. Well, there was no warning, obviously, you potter. There is a machlekes of hasra, suffix shma hasra, lo shma hasra. If you made hasra, you didn't know it was going to work out, whether it's considered hasra or not considered hasra. Over here, even if you hold hasra suffix, it's considered hasra. Here, it's even weaker than a suffix in a way, according to many Rishonim, because the way Rashi says, they warn him. You're standing alongside an animal and right next to another person. You have there a bat you're swinging, and they warn you. You know that person there is a yid, and if you kill that person, you're going to be punished. You're going to kill. And he says, I know. He says, I know, and I don't care. Nevertheless, you don't get punished. Why? Because we didn't know at the time you're actually going to strike that person. And more than we didn't know you could strike that person, you actually intended to kill the other one. It's more than just we didn't know where it's going to end up. You intended to kill a behemoth. You intended to kill a goy. You intended to kill a nafel. So in all these cases, your intention was something that was permitted. So therefore, what do you call it? You're not chayv. Okay. What happens? Your intention was to kill, but you killed in a different way than you intended. So you're the ma'aseh that you wanted to do, sort of your kavanah, the ultimate kavanah happened, but the method of the ma'aseh changed. For example, you intended to hit him on his loins, and that could not have killed him. Okay, that's the next case where I was talking about. Here, what my intention was not going to kill him, but the whole cholo aliba, instead you hit him in a much more vulnerable place. Instead of hitting him, let's say by his hip, you hit him in the heart, and that same blow that in the hip would have only hurt the person in the heart, it killed him. And there it would have been enough. But makes potter. In this case, you're potter. Why you potter? Because you had no intention to give a deathly blow. This is like an accident. Let's say your intention was to hit him in the heart, and you had enough power in that blow to actually kill him. For example, you threw a stone, and the stone was going to land in the heart and going to kill him. The whole cholam must have, but then instead of hitting him in the heart, you hit him in the loins. And that blow on the loins would not have killed a normal person. It would have just harmed them. It would have hurt them. Right? So you know it's here. There's a thing called here. The miskaven was to kill, but the ma'aseh didn't happen the way you intended. You intended to land the blow on the heart. It landed on the loins, and on the loins, it's not a deathly blow. But the thing was, but a mace, for some odd reason, he died. So your ma'aseh was accomplished, but not your kavanah. All the way around. Your kavanah was accomplished. You intended to kill, he killed, but not the ma'aseh. The ma'aseh was going to be in the heart, and instead you hit him in the loins. And this shouldn't have killed him in the loins, but it did. Again, you're a potter. In order to be chayiv, you need kavanah and you need ma'aseh. You have to have intention for both. Intention to kill and intention to wherever it lands, that's where it should be. The Skavin lahaka says that God he intended to hit an adult, but not enough there to kill God cotton. But instead, you hit a youngster, but they're sufficient to kill the cotton. Amazing, and he died. Potter, you are Potter, right? You intended to kill. We just started the Mishnah here, and basically the Mishnah is talking about that you have, when you want to kill somebody and to be chayiv, you have to have kavanah to kill the person, intention, and you have to intend to do this particular ma'isa you did. So we're giving a number of scenarios here with a kavanah, you didn't intend to kill him, but yes you did, or you intend to kill somebody, something else which is no chiyav, and then you ended up killing something which there is a chiyav. And the last case with 4 lines on top of the page, you had intention to kill an adult, and sorry again, 3 lines at the top. This guy is like Godel. Hak is a Godel. You had intention to kill an adult. It wasn't enough to kill the Godel. But then it ended up you struck a youngster, but is a cotton. For a youngster was enough. Potted. Why? Because he had no kavanah of killing. You intended yet. This guy sounds like from here the Mishnah, but what happened? You had kavanah to kill an adult, and instead you killed another adult. You'd be chayiv. The only reason why you are potted is because you had no intention of killing the first adult, and it landed on a cotton. But if you had intention of killing the first adult, it would be a different story. This kabbalah hak is a cotton. Let's say you intended to, we'll see in a minute. You intended to kill a child. Well, is a cotton. No, but your intention was to kill a child, the mice to kill a child. But what happened was you struck an adult, and there was not enough power in that blow to kill an adult. But the mace, for whatever reason, the adult died. So your kavanah was to kill. Your kavanah was to kill, but the ma'isa didn't happen because ma'isa was for a cut and it ended up with a goat. And it was not supposed to kill. If it landed on a goat, it shouldn't have killed him. If he died for another reason. Sounds like if he died because of this blow. Sounds like the Mishnah. Let's say you intend to kill a cotton and you killed the godel, and it was enough to kill a cotton, enough to kill the godel. You killed the wrong person. Sounds like you're chayiv. The only reason why you put it is because this blow shouldn't have killed the godel, but it did. Because the chacham hold if you intended to l'skaven lahakazazeh, loharagazeh, v'haragazeh, you're chayiv because your intention was to kill and you killed. And the Shimon will disagree. Avon is hagan the basinim. Avon is kavan hakan l'masov, but l'hamis l'masov. Let's say intended to get to hit him in his loins, and it was enough to kill him. It's the same person. This is not the same person, but instead of landing on his loins, it landed on his heart. And the blow you wanted to kill him, you wanted to loin. But here the same person, and you wanted to kill him, and instead you landed on the heart and you killed him. This guy, you intended to kill an adult, and the blow what you gave was enough to kill the girl, or you threw a rock and it was enough to kill him. And instead you killed the child, and he killed the child because he intended to kill, and you killed. And I had different people. That doesn't matter. But Rabbi Shimon says, I feel in this guy a lot of is that potter. Rabbi Shimon says, even if you intended to kill one of those, and you killed another one, that's sudden in your kavan, and you are potter. Says Rabbi Shimon. Oh, the warning. Remember, you need a warning. They say you're about to kill Ruvain, and if you do, you'll be chayiv mitzvah. He says, I know, and I don't care. He has to say that. If he doesn't respond, not according to Rabbi Yasi, it says that's only din lahafchim ben shegil amazing. But according to us, if there's a custom, then this is the protocol. He has to say. That's why if a bezin kills 1 7 years, it's pretty preposterous. Because which idiot is going to stand there? No matter how angry you are, you're going to say, you're going to get dragged to court and get killed. So you wait. Rab Shimon, which case is he arguing on? Elam is he arguing on a sefer where it says over there if he intended to kill an adult, and then instead you killed a child, and the child died, you're chayiv, right? No, the whole chayiv, and it would have been an adult, you're chayiv as well. Yeah. In other words, if you intended to kill one person, and you ended up killing another person, the chacham say you're still chayiv, right? And Rab Shimon's arguing says no. That I hold that you're a potter. So then what does she say? I feel this kavalana. Just say potter. Then I shouldn't point to him by life because it's pretty straightforward. It says it clearly. You intended to kill one person, you killed another person. Okay, one's adult, one's a child. Both of them, there's a deathly blow. So and the chavzei chayiv, and he holds potter. It's the wrong person. So why you give a whole pupil? Ella areisha is areisha. He's arguing on the reisha. Same idea, but the reisha from the inference. There it said in this Kabbalah as a behemoth. The reason why you put it is because you intended to kill someone that you're not chayiv mitzvah for. Behemoth, goy, neiful. This Kabbalah that sounds clearly by inference. You intended to kill one adult, and then you killed another adult. Chayiv, and that then you be chayiv. Rav Shimon says, "I feel in this Kabbalah laragazev or haragazev potter. Even if you intend to kill one adult, if you killed another adult, you are potter. You are potter." So that's where the inference is from. So why did Rab Shimon a little bit difficult, and why did Shimon wait till the end of the Mishnah to argue? He's arguing right here in the beginning of the Mishnah. But nevertheless, that's what it's like. Big machlek is a shaynim that the halach is like Rab Shimon, like Rab Chamim, and the big machlek is nachronim how to understand the Rambam. The Rambam seems to be learning like Rab Shimon, but that's difficult because other shaynim say some of the other gemaras show the halach Chamim. So within the Rambam itself, the Kesef everyone argues as to what's pshat in the Rambam. Kesef makes a big chedushim there to try to find for the Rambam. Now the one says pshit. This is no question. Koi Reuben Shimon. Reuben Shimon standing there. If the Reuben and Shimon standing there, and the guy says, "I intended Reuben," no, he told the Edom, and not to Shimon, and then he ended up killing Shimon. Well, I know that's a machlek going to come because you wanted to kill and you killed, and according to Shimon, you if he said, "I intend to kill one of them," I don't care which one it is. What would Shimon hold in that case of it? His intention is to kill either one, and he killed either one of them. Do you need a definitive? You have to know I want to kill Dafka, because if you intend to kill either one, I mean, you were happy to kill Reuben. You end up killing Shimon. Maybe your Kabbalah wasn't carried out because you were happy to kill Reuben. How does Shimon look at that? Or Inami, more interesting. Kasava Reuben, you saw a man standing there from his back and profile, and you thought it was Reuben. He was wearing a mask, COVID. Then him to Shimon, turned out to be somebody else. What happens in this case over here? So in a way, he wanted to kill. He did a mice of killing. The kavanah was Reuben turned out to be something else. How do you view that? And the suffix is a lack of the way that Achrein learned. Is a lack of kavanah achsaron in kavanah or achsaron actually in the mice itself? Is it impinging on the mice? The mice was no. When I wanted to kill, is the mice just killing, or the mice was killing Reuben? What's the mice? And if the mice is I want to kill Reuben, not stop people in the street, and then turn out to be with somebody else, my kavanah wasn't carried out, so it's also lacking in the mice itself. The Alter Rebbe is mechadish and tough in Hilchos Pesach that whenever we say if a person eats matzah without kavanah, or if a person eats more without kavanah, and there's a concept that if you do something without kavanah, if you're mitzvah kavanah, you didn't do your mitzvah. But if you have hana, the Rosh says, because shekem is asik bechalavim barosh. When you have hana, it becomes then as if you had kavanah for it. And looking at the words of the Alter Rebbe, it sounds like the Alter Rebbe explains what's the logic behind it. He didn't have kavanah, so what if you have hana from it? The Alter Rebbe seems to be saying that when you're lacking kavanah, it's lacking in the ma'aser. It's like it didn't happen. But since you have hana, the hana transformed that this ma'aser did happen. If ma'aser happens like this, we have kavanah. And that's cooking the suffering about here. Tashma coming here. The time we learned the Brayso Shimon says, it says in the Brayso Shimon says you have to have in mind that particular person. In other words, the kavanah and the ma'aser are all intertwined. My time is what's sort of Shimon because out of loy, you come along that you ambushed him and you prepared, and it says loy. So it has to be very specific. I just got loy. So you have in mind. But Rabban Amri, so what do they do with that pasuk? They say prat lezoyrik even legoy. Come to teach you another halacha which you learn through that says love. The concept of kol kavua kemechza mechza dami. How do you know? Usually we follow majority. How do you know that if they're all stationed in one place? We talk in the Gemara that talks about you have 9 stores selling kosher meat and 1 store selling treifa meat. And if you buy in the store, you just don't remember which store you went into. They say kolder parish, meruba parish, probably both majority. If you found it lying in the street, we're going to say, kol kavua is kemechza mechza. We're going to say lechumra that maybe sorry. We're going to say that it's a suffix whether it is kosher or treif. We're not going to say, we're going to be machmir. Say, you go eat kosher, maybe it's safe. Kol kavua mechza. But if we saw you walking out of the Beruba, we just don't remember what it is, then we have a thing called Gezeda, that kind of punish is, when it's punished good, only if you found it in the street. But if you saw walking out of the store, then we're Gezeda that next time you'll take from the Kavua. So where do we learn this whole concept? In fact, Achreinim, Hayesha, Shimshkap, and others tried to give some kind of svara to it. But because we're going to say Bein L'chumra and Bein L'kulak. The Magen Avraham in Hilchos Shabbos talks about this other day by Havdalah. You're not letting Havdalah from a guy. What happens if there was it came from a Masibah, you don't know where it came from? So we say if Reiv Goyim, and probably it's a guy you cannot use Havdalah, and if it's Reiv Eden you could. And the Magen said, but even most of them are Eden. The guy they're all saying like so the Magen Avraham makes a chiddush and says there that maybe we look at the fire, and the fire is considered called the punish. which everybody's baffled at what's shut among a rum. The Mordechai asks a famous question: if Kol Kavua Kemech Samech, so by a bezdin, what do you mean two dayanim say guilty and one guy says say innocent and one guy says what's Kol Kavua? They're all sitting in a fixed place. Kemech Samech. So we don't know what they're saying. Even when they say innocent, maybe the one it becomes guilty because Kol Kavua Kemech Samech, and we say even the Chumrah. So Mordechai says because it's not the people sitting on the seats, it's the words that come out of their mouth. And what exactly does it mean the words come out of their mouth? Is it because we look at the words and therefore it's called a parish, varu parish? But that's a problem because the words, you see where they're coming from. And the din is if the parish, you see where it comes from, no good. So others want to learn pshat that since the words are effective, then it's not a question of, it doesn't mean call the parish, look at the majority. It's nothing to do with the dayanim. It's not the dayanim, it's the words. And the words, you look at majority of the words. Same with fire. It's not the pshat that you look, it's the fire is separate from the torch and from the people. And therefore, if they look at them, then it's moving the whole time, jumping up and down. So that's not considered a kavua. Anyway, so let's see what we learn from. Hey, what are you talking about? One between them. Say the majority are goyim. So anyway, you potter if you threw a rock in there. You probably by half and half, something will huckle. It's like the Ika teacher Yisrael because the Echad b'nei 9 Yidden and 1 guy. So the Chayre we should be machmer say, you try to kill a Yid. The Kusi Kavua, but the Chiddush is the guy is fixed over there. Chol Kavua can mechza. We're not going to kill the Yid, and that's a big Chiddush. So we learn out from the other life. So basically, now Taisus on the same says, going up Shimon Taka, you don't believe the concept of Kol Kavua, or he learns it from a Svara, or he learns it's only Midrabanan. What exactly the sword is, you go to Shimon, that's what the Achrein will go try to explain. If you try to kill Reuben and kill Chai, it's a pasuk. So there were 2 men were fighting, and then a woman goes by, and if you strike the woman, and you kill her, nefesh. You want to kill a man, you want to kill a woman, you're chayiv. That's Chachamim. They're arguing, and they were about to want to kill each other. And you're here I understand. It means money. What do you mean money? You have to compensate. Sorry, what? Yeah. It means that you have to compensate. Like Rebbe learned Pshat and Rab Shimon. According to Rab Shimon, who learns that if you want to kill one person, you party for killing another person, so Rebbe learned Pshat in Rab Shimon, it's about money. The time you learn Rebbe Amir Satan never talking of it. Maman, you say Maman after Maman ain't element never talking Maman, maybe it means killing him. Nemra Nesina Lamata. It says in the pasuk when a Satan nefesh talking of it. But Nemra Nesina Lamata, it says over there, what happens? You didn't kill the woman, and you only killed the fetus inside. You have to pay money. It says also word Nesina is Malahalan, just like over there. So the nosan beflu. So the word nosan, you pay compensation. Just like what it means money. I've come means money. Omar Rava says there's a third opinion. Now this third opinion is within Rab Shimon. How to understand Rab Shimon? Excludes Rebbe umafke Rabban. No, but it seems like learn pshat. This is a third way of learning, which is really a pshat in Rab Shimon. You say according to Rab Shimon, you want to kill Reuben and to kill Shimon, you got a compensation. So the Chizkiah, you pay nothing. Why? It says the pasuk maka adam umaka behema. Right? Like it says in the pasuk that if somebody strikes a behema, you got to pay money, and then it says umaka adam, and if you strike a person, humans will get killed. They're both in the same pasuk? Why put the two together? This is money, and this is capital punishment. Love us. When you strike a behema, I don't care if you did it by mistake, you did it on purpose. Intentional, unintentional. We know that when we're learning about Makkah is that if you kill somebody by mistake, when you're going down the ladder and you fall down, then you have to go to Golus. But if you're going up the ladder and you fall down, then you are exempt from Golus, like an accident. So there's a difference. All of these differences, when it comes to an animal, if you hit an animal, you have to pay compensation. I don't care what your excuse is. There's no differences. In all cases, you have to pay to the owner of the animal. So the next part of the pasuk, which is Af Maka Adam, like Tachli, I don't care. As far as money is concerned, you never pay money. Like Tachli, I don't care about your you kill somebody deliberately because you don't pay money, covered up. Or B'Shagi, you go to Golus, you don't pay money, no blood money. Even when it's an accident, you don't pay money. You always pay part of money. So you want to kill Reuben, you end up killing Shimon, so you won't get killed for it. You don't pay money. You don't pay money. So that's how we understood Pshat and Shimon. Maisha ain't miskaven. What do you mean he had no intention? You give him all the shegig and made it miskaven, intentional and unintentional. Isn't unintentional and shegig more or less the same thing? Maisha miskaven had no intention. Heine shegig, isn't that shegig? Elapshita shem miskaven zelazay. He had no intention for this person, intention for that person. Uktani, and it says clearly that by an animal you pay money, but it comes to a person, you would think you have to pay money as well. No, you don't pay money. Now, in which case don't you pay money? If it's in the case where you're going to kill the person for trying, no, it's like the Chachamim that holds. If you kill Reuben and you intend to kill Reuben, you kill Shimon Chayiv, of course you don't pay money. Come with Rabbinate. Must be that you're not going to get killed. No, we hold like Reb Shimon. You don't get killed, but nor do you pay money. Ella, my baktolu, my yitzchel, if you have to exclude from money, unless Rabbinate, la baktolu, la bamanu. You don't pay money, nor do you get killed, like Reb Shimon. Mishnah. What happens if a murderer, I mixed up with other murderers? What exactly happened? The Gemara will explain. Now we don't know who this murderer is. It's kulam turid. They all go home. Rabbi Yehuda said, "What do you mean? They're all murderers. We don't know who's this. Now, what this person got mixed up? We'll see in a minute. We take the mission literally. They're all murderers, and they're all murderers. Murderers. I mean, that means deliberate. We're going to kill them. So kill them all. We'll soon see. Rabbi Yehuda says, "You put him in jail." And the jail over here, you don't feed them and they eventually die. So this is not the jail we had yesterday where you hold them in a pen just to find out the outcome. Here you actually kill them. They have two people. One is, let's say, liable for one severe punishment, and another one is for another punishment, but not as severe. Now you don't know who's who, and each one claims, I'm the one who was liable to punishment. What do we do? You always give the easier punishment to both of them, because included is even the one that's supposed to get a stricter punishment. If you give the lighter one, it's still included in that punishment. For example, in the majority of the people, they deserve to be burnt. That's there that they did. And then you have one person that says Machal Shabbos deserves skilla, and he got mixed in. So what do? Give everyone streifa according to Chachamim, because we hold streifa is lighter. According to Reb Shimon, that says that skilla is a lighter punishment. He holds that streifa is the worst. You give everyone skilla, even though the majority in that group there are streifa. Reb Shimon says Nedainin b'skila, you give everyone skila, shastreifa chamur, because streifa is stricter. And the Chacham is saying Nedainin b'streifa gives streifa, shaskila chamur, skila is stricter. Amalei Reb Shimon said, Ila hoisa streifa chamura. Reb Shimon, I'll prove to you that streifa is the most strictest. Lo hay nois lebas kohen, she's into a daughter of a kohen, she's mezana, we give a streifa. And that's the strictest punishment. And as we explained to the Gemara before, the reason is because two people are involved here. She's an Aveda, plus she's hurting her father. Right, if he gets reduced, no, we believe that skila, since it's a punishment for avodah zarah, what could be worse? That's the worst. You're undermining the whole basis of Yiddishkeit. But if Shimon says no, what's worse is hurting other people. You're hurting your father, and that's worse. Hurting another Yid is worse than hurting the Eibishter. What about you mix up people who deserve saif? He get the sword, and there was a lesser punishment strangling. According to Shimon says B'sayif, because Sayif is a lesser punishment. Now what's going on here? What do you mean? A Rotzeh got mixed up with other who? Who are these others? Who are these others? The murderers fled from Bezin. Now he's sleeping. He's among the throngs of people, and you don't know who it is. So the mission needs to tell you that you all go home. What, we're going to kill everybody, all innocent people, because there's one murderer there in between? Pshita. Number one. Number two, we take a whole crowd and we lock them in jail and let them starve. No. You know what we're talking about here? They're all convicted murderers. And then there was this last guy, was a guy who the witnesses came to court and they already said it's Aedis, and the Bezdin already had all their discussions and they already decided that this person should be put to death. But they never pronounced the judgment. And the Bezin needs to pronounce the judgment before you can go ahead and kill the person. But they didn't. But we know that he's a murderer. He's been already convicted in the minds of the Bezin. They already agreed. They just didn't tell him yet, give it the final judgment. Now I got mixed up with Tzchim, and all these other Tzchim are all convicted and condemned murderers. Rabban Sabri ain't going in Dina Shalom. But the Bezin now is a hand is sort of tied. They cannot enforce their conviction until they actually say it directly. That's the din. You have to give him the final judgment. And because they didn't give the final judgment, and they don't know who it is, they can't say it to the crowd because you got to say directly to that person. And therefore, yeah, but each one's a suffix. You have to say definitively, you are Chayi Misa. And they go around to each 10 people, you're Chayi Misa. Not that they're Chayi Misa anyway, but not for this particular case. Rabban hold ain't going on the fun of Hichakul and Deopata. Abdullah says, Biftaninu Lagamri, Nami, you can't send them home. Keep the Rishchaninu, they're all murderers, including this guy. No, boss. This guy here, we haven't yet, officially said that, formally said it. Your son, you put them all in the jail, they all die. We don't feel any, no charate whatsoever. They all deserve it anyway. That's the one answer, Shmuel's answer. The Shlaki said no. But all them no, by a person, everyone agree that since there's one person that he says that Bezin is handicapped because they didn't pronounce formally his sentence, he's not a murderer. So because in your mind he's a murderer doesn't make him a murderer. It's the psak of the Bezin that makes him a murderer, not the consultation and the conversations that they had, those debates that they had. And because the Taylor said well, he wasn't condemned, so he's free. So they're all free now. The same case, but a shor. A shor and his shor that killed somebody else, and the shor has to be put to death. But and the Bezin already decided he'd be put to death, but they didn't yet formally say it. There's a whole bunch of other shorim who were committed already to be killed. And they're all mixed together. The Pasuk says that also the Bailim should die. So they say the same laws that apply to the owner applies to the animal. And what's that? Just like in Goim Dina shall show it, like the Bailim, you have to say it to the face of the culprit that you are formally found guilty, and this is your punishment. Same thing with an animal, and therefore they all go home. And if you hold, no, we don't take it to that extreme that you have to. There has to be like the Bailim. Almost as another, if so. Tell me if that's a machlekes. Rabbi said even my father Chalafta was between them. Who's the biggest tzaddik, an innocent person. Nevertheless, we're going to put him in that jail. What's going? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? So you're telling me that this attack was somebody we knew he was sitting Bezin. The Bezin decided he's guilty. He just didn't have a chance to say it. What's the relevance here that my father Chalafta? He was found guilty in court. The only question is he didn't formally say it to him. What do you mean? Even my father Chalafta? What's it? If he was found guilty, he's guilty. What's him? Who he is? Rabbi Kiva Eger has a problem. How can Rabbi Yossi call his father by his name? Abba, my father Chalafta. Others say that if you give a first say my father, and then Chalafta, it's all right. Second one further, yeah, but you told me your father, Abba Mighty. You shouldn't inquire by his name. Elamanava says Rabba. This is how we learn. This is what happened here. Another story together. There were two people standing here. This is the mission talking about. There were two people standing, and suddenly a rock went flying between the two people, and no one really saw who it came from. And obviously each one says the other person did it. But Hardag and killed Shneim, they're both potter. They are both potter. Between these two people, we don't know who's the guilty. We're talking about a case where the Bezin never knew who the person was. Till now, you all learned we knew the thing and he fled, and now we don't know. No, we never knew it was. There were two people standing there, and suddenly an arrow, a rock went flying, and we don't know who did it. So Rabbi Yossi says, even if my father Chalafta was amongst them, and everyone knows Chalafta was a big tzaddik, there's no way in the world that he would have thrown a rock to try to kill people. So it's definitely the other person that did it. That's not grounds to condemn the other person. And here, Rabbi Yehuda, we might as well. You don't put them in jail. What's Rabbi Yehuda saying? You put him in jail. One reason I feel and so what's he putting in jail? So it must be words missing in the Mishnah, and this is what you have to add in the Mishnah. This is we're adding to the Mishnah, and a shoy that the Bezin already concluded. Got mixed up with other shvarim. Now we're talking about the shoy. Ma'alya got mixed up with other shoyers that were good shoyers. You kill them. And Rabbi Yehuda says, Achedim Ma'aliyah, Achedim Ma'aliyah means other Shem that maybe deserve to be killed as well. It's like you kill them all, you stone them all. You stone them all. Because we're talking about you got mixed up in, so we were saying here that these are the words missing in the Mishnah, nothing with Poitunais or the Chum say they all go home. The Chum say they all get killed, they all get stoned. Even the animal that you didn't get formally sentenced, the majority of the animals are this, we kill them all. Chum the Rabbi says, Kointzin oisel lekippa. Yehuda says no. The Yehuda says you put them in the jail and let them all die. Why? What's the difference? As soon as the Bezin knows that this animal is guilty, they're all asa bahana. So what's the chiluk to you if you get stoned? They all get stoned together. Not to asa bahana anyway. You don't lose anything out of it. And we'll continue tomorrow this part of it, this last section of what's